welcome to another beautiful evening where we have to talk about the Father and the Son. You know, it's a day like this where we get to sit down with great men to discuss who they are, their relationship with their own Father, and their student with their own Son. Good evening and welcome to the Men's Half Hour program. My name is Catherine Asuko. Now today we have somebody, a prominent person in our society today. He is a father and of course he's a man. And then looking at where he's coming from, he's a pastor, he's an engineer, and of course he is a financial counselor. Join me in welcoming Pastor Engineer Romanus Oga. Welcome to the program, sir.
My name is Romanus Oga. I'm a pastor by calling and a civil engineer by profession. I am blessed with a wonderful God-given wife who God has used to shape my life and added so much value to my life. And she has also given me 3 wonderful children, 2 girls and a boy. So I'm blessed to have a wonderful family.
So you see now why we needed to talk with him, so he can also share his experience with us, right? Okay, now let's look at your growing up. How was it like growing up?
Well, my growing up was not as the children of nowadays. They are having their own growing up. My growing up was, I grew up in a community, in a family where we were very poor, and even the poor would call my family poor. You know, that kind of setting where you live in a thatched house where you don't have a television, there's a parlor and a room, and when NEPA takes light, the door that leads to the room, there's a mirror there that will lit the lantern, go and hang it there so that the light will lit in the room. Sometimes I lean by the door there to read my books. I knew my father when I was 12 years old. I had my mother who was married to this wonderful man that I thought was my father, and I was calling him daddy. So when the man passed, my mother's family told my mom that it's time for me to go to my father.
For you to meet your real father.
To meet my real father. And I met my father, and my father took me over. And it wasn't easy also. You know, staying in a man that you never thought that it was your father, you're meeting for the first time. A different lifestyle, a different upbringing. The mother who is not my mother, my stepmother, with other kids also. So it wasn't that easy, but God being on my side, today I'm happy that I'm the man that I am. I stayed with my father for 2.5 years, my class 1 and my class 2. And my mother saw that the kind of life that I was living wasn't good enough for the kind of child that she wants to raise. So my mother came back and took me from my father. So my mother took over my upbringing, my training in school, to where I am today. So I never really enjoyed the love of a father, because the father wasn't there for me when I was growing up. The father wasn't there for me when I was even at my teenage age. So there was no love of a father, but I enjoyed the love of a mother.
You enjoyed the love of a mother. Alright, moving on, we see that they said what a man can do, a woman can do more better. But we're not talking about the woman fold this time around, we're talking about the man fold. Now share with us your experience, your marital status. Growing up as a young man, you had faced through thick and thin, and then come out to say, okay, it was time for me to have a family of my own. What prompted you to make that decision, and at what time do you think it was right for you to make that decision? And when you popped the question to her, how was the whole environment? Because I'm sure the whole environment was so much excited and all of that.
Yes, you know, I got to a point since I was a pastor. I was in Calabar, pastoring in a church called Shalom Church International. And I go out to preach. People invite me, other churches invite me, other pastors invite me to come and speak. And you know, there is this thing that will come. Other pastors will say to me, Pastor, when are you getting married? When are you getting married? And you know, being a pastor, you are surrounded with a lot of sisters who are single. And so you have to be very careful. Yeah, so 21 years ago, I was preaching on a Sunday in service when I saw a young girl just walked into the church when I was preaching. And, you know, it confirmed to me that that must be my wife.
Wow. Okay.
And so after the service, we welcomed first timers, and she was one of the person that came to church for the first time. And normally when new members come, new comers come to church on Sunday, after the service, they will be seated somewhere where the pastor will come and address them. So I went and I addressed them.
You were the pastor to address them?
Yes, I was the pastor to address them. I went and addressed them, welcomed them, and they were entertaining. And there was a form for them to fill, and they all fill their details. And she started coming to church, and we became friends. So one day, I just sat down in the church office, and she came to see me and said, "Listen, I want to marry you. Will you marry me?"
Just like that.
Just like that.
Wow.
I don't know how to toast a woman either. So I went straight to the point, and I said, "I want to marry." So it was shocking to her, young pretty girl that a lot of men have been chasing, and
you're lucky.
This manner of chasing her and telling her I want to marry her is, I didn't tell her any story of me. So she couldn't tell me anything, but she was shocked, and she said, please, she will get back to me. And she disappeared. I never saw her again for about 3 months plus. And I started praying that she should come back to church. If you don't want to marry me, that's fine, but she should come back to church. So the day she came to church, we met, and she confirmed to me that yes, she's ready to be my wife. And so we courted for 9 months, and then we got married. Today, God has taken from myself and herself, the same church that we stood to say thank you, to say thanksgiving, to appreciate the church for wedding us. When we came back 21 years after to that same church to come and celebrate our 21 years anniversary this past December, we did not just call myself and my wife. We came with a partner. From 2 became 5. So that's what God has done.
That's beautiful. From 2 and they became 5. Isn't that awesome? Now this is what happens when you have the foresight of how your future will look like, especially when you have God beside you. You see, when you do something and you don't have God beside you, it's always a problem. So that's why I keep telling my viewer that you should always ask God for anything you need to do. Now, looking at what you've gone through as a child, and now that you're a man, not having that perfect relationship with your father, what would be your view between the father-son relationship?
Yes, like I said, a father and a son, your son should be your friend. You should be able to mentor your son to the point where your son will be somewhere and you are told that your son is somewhere, and you are giving a notice that this is what I saw your son do. You say, no, it can't be my son. It's not my son. Because like I said, a father is to mentor his son. A father is to ensure that his son grow up in the way that he wants his son to grow. The Bible says, bring up a child the way he or she should go, and when he or she grows up, he will not depart from that way. There is something we call family values. If you have a family value and you bring up your son or your child in the way of your family value, that child will not depart from it. You should also check the kind of friends that your child keeps, because your friend can make you or mar you. Your friend can influence you negatively, or your friend can influence you positively. So I want to be a friend to my son. My son today will sit down with me and he's discussing football. Daddy, when you were not here for us to watch the football together. Chelsea did very well. Did you watch where you were? See, sometimes I'm not around. My son will chat me, Daddy, they started football. Where are you? Can you watch where you are? Are you in a meeting? That's the kind of relationship I have with my son. We discuss football. We discuss politics. My son will ask me certain things and I respond to him. Sometimes I just pick up the car key. Hey, Didi, yeah, let's go out. I have 3 girls. My wife is my first daughter. My first daughter is my second daughter. And my second daughter is my third daughter. So we have 2 boys and 2 girls. So sometimes we drive myself and my son. We have time to discuss at home in the car, and he expresses himself to me and I expresses myself to him too. Sometimes we're going out, he'll go to the room and come, going out with Daddy. And mommy will tell him something, he'll come into the car. When I wake up, Daddy, mommy say you should buy this or buy that. Sometimes it's start. He's starting, Daddy, I'm just chatting with my sister, so they say the one that we have to buy for them. I said, remind me. And I went back, Daddy, we need to get this. So that is the kind of relationship I have with my son. He does his doing the school work. Sometimes he engages me. Daddy, I need to do this. I don't understand. Can you put me through? And I'm there to put him through. That I never saw from my father.
Alright, at this point, if you have just tuned in, this is the Men's Half Hour show with Catherine Asuko, and we have been speaking with Pastor Engineer Romanus Oga, who has been telling us everything about himself and how a father should train a child. At this point, we'll quickly take a break, and then when we come back, we'll continue. Alright, welcome back from that beautiful quote. I'm sure you'll be able to learn one or two things from that. You know, here in TRBC, we'll try to inspire you, inform you, and of course, a little bit of entertainment to spice up your day. Welcome back to the Men's Half Hour show, and I'm still Catherine. My guest is still here, giving it hot as it be hot. But right now, let's find out from him how he relaxes as a man. Like the kind of food a man should eat.
Yeah, let me start with the food. My best food, incidentally, is rice.
Okay.
Stew.
Okay.
As you know, I'm a man of one wife. My wife is the best cook ever in the world, and I have always enjoyed her stew. I make time also to relax with my family, even though I'm a very busy person. I make time to relax with them, and then sometimes we leave the home. We say, let's go spend some time in the hotel with the family, and then sometimes we travel together. We make time to relax, and then sometimes we go out to have lunch or dinner outside with the family. Sometimes my wife and I, we just go relax, have something nice to eat, something different from home, and then we come back. And then one of my children, when we were still bringing them up, there was a time that one of them was disturbing so much, and we had a housemate in our home in Lagos, and I told my wife, baby, listen, dress up, let's go out. And we went out, checked into a hotel, sleep. I said, let's have our peace here. Let them take the house.
Okay, why? Because she was, is it she or he?
It was a she.
She was disturbing.
Disturbing. So we went out time to relax, sleep, slept there, came back the next day, and then my daughter said, Daddy, you went out with mommy, you didn't come back. I said, tomorrow you marry your husband also. I come to your husband and stuff. Go with your husband and sit somewhere and leave your work. Until you let me give me and my wife peace in this home, we will leave the house for you. So that's how we relax with my family. That's how we can tell it.
Okay, now let's talk about your embarrassing moments. You do want to share with us your embarrassing moments?
One of the embarrassing moments I had in my life, I should say, was the day I was getting married to my wife. The day of my traditional marriage. when I saw my mother-in-law crying. And I said, Mommy, why are you crying? Everybody was there. She held me, and as I sat on her lap, and she said, my son, you are a good man. I've seen your family come, people come. I don't know if this marriage will last. See, my daughter is too stubborn. So I was embarrassed. So, but I must confess to you that even though I was embarrassed by the statement my mother-in-law made, today I've not even seen the stubbornness in my wife that will end the marriage.
I think there's this thing about marriage that just puts two people together, no matter how calm or cold or stubborn you are. Once you just start having family, you just have to, adjust.
Yes,
I think that's what happens.
I think so, because my wife loves me and I love my wife, and like
that's
I said in the intro, my wife has added so much value to my life. So much value. People that knew me before, they see me today, they will know that my wife has added so much value.
All right, let's talk about your best moment.
My best moment was number one, the day I got married to my wife.
Okay.
That was my best moment. I remember that when we got married, we went back home. We were living right here in Calabar, somewhere in Anderson Street. And we went back home. There were a lot of people downstairs. My mother was at home also. I read that my wife with her wedding dress from the back. We came in from the front. People saw they were already at home also, still eating and drinking. We went upstairs to the room. My mother was with us. She talked to us, but my mother wanted us to relax. We have gone through a lot of stress for the wedding. My mom said, look for a way, you can't pass the night here together with your wife. So I said, these were the days where they just opened this fine hotel called Pyramid Hotel. So we had already kept some guests there that came in for something, a church program. So I had the manager's number, so I called the manager. He picked. I said, they were no GSM then. That's 2001. So I called with my mom, tell her I'm at home. I said, manager, I didn't come for my wedding. He said, you're good today. I said, don't worry, I'm coming there, I will fight you. Please do a reservation for me. Let me come and sleep with my wife and pass the night and enjoy myself, because if there's so much noise I can hear. He said, okay, no problem, I'll keep you one of our best rooms. So that day was my birthday. So we went through the back door while they were waiting for us downstairs, and we left for the hotel. And then another best moment of my life also was the day we had our first baby. Yeah, because that day I thought I was going to lose my wife and my baby, because I took my wife to the hospital, military hospital in Lagos. As soon as we got to the lift stopped working, and we need to go for the fourth floor. So my wife had to go through the stairways, and then my wife, there was this labor that dragged. I remember a scripture that kept coming to my head, that the woman would go through death pains and travails before she brought forth. My wife went through pain, she went through travails. I left and I went back home, sitting on the floor, and at 5 a.m. the next day, I got the call. I just delivered. That was my happiest moment. So I came out, pulled out one of the cars that we just bought, asked the boy to wash the car very clean. I drove the car, went, carried my wife and my baby. In fact, I was driving as if I was carrying eggs in the car. That was my best moment. That I had my wife and I had my baby.
That was the greatest moment ever. Yeah. Okay, at this point, while we're drawing towards the end of the interview, let me ask you a question, which is also very important. Looking at what is happening in our country today, here in Nigeria, if you're given a chance to change something, just one thing here in Nigeria, what would that be?
If I'm given the chance to change one thing in Nigeria, I will change corruption. Why corruption? Because corruption is killing our economy. Corruption in Nigeria is like a cankerworm. If we don't kill corruption will kill Nigeria. If there's anything that Nigeria should arrest today, first, going forward, is corruption. Once corruption is arrested, it will change the narrative, the way we do things in this country. We have a mindset that will take this country to a higher height. Because whenever people come in position, give somebody a political appointment, one thing in the person's head is my time to make money. Thinking about house in America to buy, thinking about property in London,
the latest cars
to drive and to make their family. When God gives a man a political position, is to help build the economy. not to amass wealth like what is happening today. So we can deal with corruption and kill it and nip it on the bud. Nigeria will be a better home for all.
All right. On a lighter note, before we go, what kind of music do you listen to as a man?
A lot of beautiful gospel music I can listen to.
Okay, so you do want to sing one of your favorite for
I
us?
don't know how to sing. Let me not sing.
But at least you have one favorite. You can tell us at least 1 or 2 lines from the songs.
Which of them can I remember now? You alone are worthy. You alone are worthy. That's all I can say.
Thank you so much. So what would be your advice to the fathers? Very important, because there are some fathers who neglect their role as a father and allow the boy child to grow on their own. And then to the young boy out there, what would be your advice as well?
Yes, if the father allow the boy child to stray, the child will stray and stray away. I saw a video recently when I saw a child, a boy of 4 years or 5 years, smoking. I don't know if you've seen the social media. Smoking. And a man was there also smoking, and they were dancing together, both of them were smoking. And I saw it, and I began to ask myself, is this child in Nigeria? Does this child not have a father? So a child of 4 or 5 years smoking, if we leave our boy child without caring for them, that is how the boy child will be. If you leave our boy child to start straying away, to mix up with friends, with people that are not of your standard, I mean your standard, I mean the way you want your child to be, your child will be like them. Show me your friend and tell me who you are. If I work with a friend for a long time, I will begin to do the things that that friend does. So if you are truly the father to your son, be his friend. Check what your son is doing. Check what he's doing in his phone. I check what my son is doing with his tablet. He does
more of academic work. And I check it once in a while, I just take it. Let me see what you're doing. I don't even tell him my work is here.
He will just be there with his, working with his tablet. Me too, I'm doing my own thing. And I'll just say, let me see what you're doing. Just right on the spot. And I see what he's doing. You know, so I want to advise parents to check their boy child. Because let me tell you, it is these children that will grow up today to begin to take care of us. If we care for them very well, we bring them up the way they should go, they will be what we want them to be. I also watched a video where a young man killed his mother. He said his mother, he asked his mother said he wanted 20,000, it was his money, he suffers for it, he doesn't have a father. And the mother went and collected the 20,000, more than 20,000, and he knew that he collected more than that. And the mother came and gave him little than he expected. He struggled with the mother and grabbed something and killed the mother. And today the guy is in jail because there was no fatherly care, there was no parental care. We should not leave our children alone, especially the boy child. The boy child is very important because at the end of the day, the girls will go. It's the boy child that will be there for you. It's the boy child that will take after you. I am a businessman, I am an engineer, I have my own company. I'm nurturing my son to know certain things what we do in the company. Tomorrow, by the time he grows up, if he doesn't want to work with the government, he may take over the company, which is the empire. You know, so I'm bringing up my child to be like me, to be better than me. I'm not praying that my child should be like me. My child should be better than me. What took me 10 years to get, I'm praying that my child will get it in 7 days, in 3 days. My father never drove a car. My father did not even drive a bicycle. My father was a poor man. I cannot be like my father. That is why today I said my father is my father. My father is not my wife's husband. My children's name, they are bearing my name. My name is, my son's name is Oga. My children's name is Romanus. It ends with me. My father's name cannot open any door for me. But my name, by the grace of God, the way I live my life, my name can open a door for my children. They go anywhere. Are you the son of Pastor Romanus, or Engineer Romanus, or the daughter of Pastor Romanus, Engineer Romanus? That is how it works. So they bear my name. My wife is Mrs. Romanus, not Mrs. Oga. So I advise fathers to care for their boy child, to care for them, to check what they are doing academically, and also check their phones. Check the kind of friends they keep. That's my advice for the father.
Thank you so much, Pastor Engineer Romanus Oga, for coming to the show. Thank you for sharing your experience with us. And I believe a viewer out there have learned 1 or 2 things, especially how to take good care of a boy child, not minding the challenges. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
All right, with this, we've come to the end of the program. Let's have our show. You've heard it all, and there's nothing I need to say again. All you need to do is just have to be careful with your parents, be careful with your children, ensure that you keep close tab with your children, not just a boy child, girl. It doesn't matter the sex, but you have to be very careful and keep tab with everything they do at all times. My name is Catherine Asiko. Bye for now.